I wonder about the different possible transformation, the different statues of an image. What's happened between the moment when you take a subject from the real world, when you shoot, and the moment when the image is settled down? I wanted to think about a nomadic image, which could be transformed in different contexts and moments of residence. Thus, this photographic object that I made in India during the first residency was the image of a blue net at nightfall in front of a dark vegetation lit by a red light. It was later developed through a performance called Destination for a Reading Picture, accompanied by lectures, gestures, and other images. I like the afterword of a photo. I talk about this performance in the video I present in Venise. I use an introspective voiceover to talk about what's happened outside the frame, about the photographic experience I had. In India, nets are used to prevent birds from entering. In this picture, the nets has kept me away from the vegetation and support the idea of a two-dimensional, something you cannot cross. The image printed on canvas still present in a new installation space. Things still in construction, in revelation, the image and also my thought about it. I'll let the digression go, what I'm telling, but also by using different mediums, videos, text, installation.
My work is about the process of creation. I create my project looking everything around me and mixed with fiction elements and fragments of memory. I like to freeze the moment of work in progress, like a suspending time of construction. It's an artwork who try to make repetitive dialogue of different medium. I make transfer of objects. For example, a detail in a picture become a real object. Then I can put it in the real space, and this one can be filmed too and become a subject of fiction. It's play also with little trouble of perception with different type of scales. Since 1 year, I start to create a virtual studio with 3D software. It gives me a freedom for experimenting form and light and movement. It's like sketching in a fictional space without limit of natural law. For this one-shot installation, I made a video to invite the spectators to enter in it. I want to create something soft and strange, like a feeling of dream. Also, I present 3 pictures composed by miniatures and images off screen. The light of these pictures is created by screen and real spot. They are trick for the eyes, with 2 layers of light. I made a sculptures composed by glasses, pen, and mix of glue and ink. It make reflections of all the elements and can create new images, also kind of mirage.
In Venice, I chose the Lido Beach as my experimental space. I wanted to make a video in which you could see the sea and its horizon. Still armed with my camera, tripod and GoPro, I wanted to repeat the same process as in India. This time, I connected the GoPro to the tripod with a 40-meter long wire. I put the tripod and camera on the waterfront. I took the GoPro in hand, took a step back and ran towards the water to throw the GoPro far to the horizon. I stepped out of the camera field and in rescue gesture, I went to get the GoPro from the water. Then I rewound the wire to the camera. The filmed action gave rise to a video diptych as part of this series of experiments in the gesture and its context. At the same time, the last year I was conducting investigations and research around places designated as paranormal, haunted and cursed. For this kind of work, I created a character dressed in a diving suit who lets himself be guided by dozing roads. I called him the Ghost Seeker. He's kind of my double. It is through a fiction that I try to question our perception and our belief in the invisible. In Venise, I chose to work on the history of Cadario. I started doing a lot of research by picking up information from internet, books in the San Marco library, and testimonies from local people. From all this information, I decided to work on a performance that will take place during the opening of our exhibition. In this performance, I will play the character of the Ghost Seeker. I will do a kind of conference where I will explain that after having made a whole journey through different haunted places, the dozing roads led me to the Cadario. I will show the audience that I have really entered the palace in order to make different performances.
Several of my work question the notion of inside-outside and use the screen as a portal between these two states. The screens can be seen as a symbol of boredom or mundanity and being dissatisfied with where you are physically and wanting to be elsewhere. This could also be boredom of misunderstanding or boredom with our existence. Throughout these 3 residencies, I tried to research and figure out what the notion of medium means to people in each country. In Venice, I continued this research, but Venice is an unreal place. I decided to use virtual reality to display frustrations with everyday scenarios that we cannot ignore. I chose 2 basic elements, which were sun and water, things that Venice either has too much or not enough of. I used the 360 video in virtual reality and 3D scanner to experiment with this idea. So I played myself in a struggle to find water and walk along a pier to know the pain of too much sun and the better to find the shade.
Donkey equals artist, carrot equals X. That's like the mathematical formula that I used to start the project that I'm doing in Venice. The relationship between the donkey and the artist. Donkey is more like an animal who stays for the people and help in a way. And I like this idea of people thinking the donkey is dumb or lazy. And if he stops, it's because he's lazy. But for me, it was the other way around. So I started doing this relationship with the artist and the donkey. For the beginning, I did a walk with a donkey in France, and I captured this image in Google Maps, and I went to Ecuador to create a carpet of the walk that we did with the donkey. And what I'm start doing in Venice for this exhibition is working around the carrot. What the carrot means, like this impossible thing that we cannot touch. I started asking this question like for 1 year ago, and every people gives me different answers. Like maybe the carrot represents money or be famous, but for me, carrot was more like when you wake up in the morning and you really want to go and work at the atelier and start producing and creating. So that for me, that's this ambition to create and give to others also, and sharing and giving and receiving in a way this. So for the exhibition, I start doing a salt preparation based of carrots. So it's a lot about balance. So for the installation, I work a lot about the balance between my installation. So I try to put the same weight in the two sides of the installation based on the quantity of salt that I'm putting in each side. So if people start eating more from one side, the installation will probably fall down. I think it's really important the smell that the salt gives to the installation, because I cook carrots with ginger and with oranges. So we have this really strong smell around the installation, and I think that's what brings people to try to eat it and became the donkey. In a way, they are the donkey, but they are eating also. So I'm trying to cook, I'm trying to do art, cooking carrots. What I'm doing, art or cooking? Should I continue? If I stop, I'm the donkey. If I think, I'm the artist. So I eat, I drink, I cook, I dream, I dream, I dream. And then art. Art comes in my dreams. I wake up and everything is clear again for a moment. That moment, I'm the artist and the donkey.
This project is about the cosmic soup, a theory about the apparition of life. At the beginning, there were 6 chemical elements: carbon, hydrogen, magnesium, azote, potassium, and phosphor. These elements mix in a random and affinity way. This project works also like this. It's a mix of a lot of different inspiration sources, objects that I found during my travels, story of gods of different religions, sounds, gestures, words. It's a kind of cosmogonic project. It will be divided in several chapters, one for each chemical element. I want to create 6 costumes, one for each molecules. In Kochi, I was working on the first chapters about carbon. I made a costume inspired by different sources, and particularly Indra, the god of storm. It will be activated later. Here in Venice, I'm working on the chapter 2, the hydrogen chapter. Hydrogen is the element the more present in the space, like in the stars, sun, and other planets, but also in water. I'm working on this idea of a link between these two sides. I'm building a latex costume, which will appear in a video concerning strange movements I make when I sleep, joined to a mysterious voice. There is also an installation with seaweeds, air, and other objects that I found or bring. It's related to Venus, because she was created by a drop falling from the sky in the water. I also work on a sound, which is a symphony. I was looking at the construction of classical symphony, which are also divided in several chapters. For this project, I experiment different mediums. I'm looking for an installation who can involve the visitor in particular environment with strange atmosphere, creatures, and vegetation.